Well, welcome back to It Matters here on AM 1240, 95.3 FM, WJON. I'm Alex Wykowski in for Kelly Cords, and I have a host of folks in the studio here today. We're talking local business, and joining me is Wendy Hendricks. Hello, Wendy.
Hello, good morning.
And you brought several guests with us here today. Barry, you've been a guest of the show before, correct?
That is correct. All
right, and joining us also today is Christina. Hello.
Hi.
Now, we're talking local business, so kind of refresh my memory here a little bit about this segment, because I know it's kind of a newer segment for Kelly, but you were telling me off air, it's really just to kind of let folks know about the businesses here in our area.
Yes, well, during COVID, I started doing these videos, and I really didn't have a plan, but I just felt like I wanted to do something. So I started profiling businesses that had completely pivoted, as is the word, maybe launched an online business or, started to do business in a different way. And it's just been so inspiring how it's taken off, because it's been a great time for entrepreneurs as well, because we're seeing all these new businesses open, which is why we have the guest on today to talk about hers. So it's just it's been a really tough time, but it's also a wonderful time for business, and we're seeing just a lot of creative, innovative businesses emerge and evolve in the way they do business.
Yeah, and Christina, tell us a little bit about your business here. It's the Bella Vita Salt Caves. Did I say that right, or am I screwing that up? I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's Bella Vita Salt Caves. Yeah. So basically what happens is a client will come in and sit in our cave, and it has about 3 to 4 tons of Himalayan salt in the cave. And it's nice and relaxing. It has star constellations on the ceiling and ocean views, so you can manifest your future ocean life or warmer weather in the winter. And you sit there and you breathe in pharmaceutical grade salt. And what it does is it kind of encases all the free radicals that are in your lungs, seals it up, and it discards it. So it's really good for people that have lung and skin conditions.
Okay. What led you to opening this business? Is it something you've always wanted to do, or how did you get involved with it?
Yeah, so about 6 years ago, I went to the other salt cave in Minnesota, and I liked the feeling of it, and I knew that there was only one, and I was like, oh, well, there needs to be 2, and I'd like to have the second one. So I opened up, but Stillwater beat me to the second spot, so I got the third.
Okay. And what drew you to the St. Cloud area to bring this here?
Well, I live here.
Okay.
So that's kind of what it is. I live here.
And just
yeah, make it happen.
Yeah.
Bloom where you are planted.
Yeah.
So how long ago did you open this business then?
Oh, it probably 12 weeks ago.
12 weeks ago, so early on already here.
Yeah. Hello.
So, how has things been going for you as you kind of, this is something new and unique to the area, so a lot of people are still probably learning a little bit more about salt caves.
Oh, yeah. Yep, for sure. So I originally started like 6 years ago with Barry, and there wasn't much information about salt caves, so I'm kind of glad that it waited this long to happen, because now people know more about it. But it's definitely been, in the back office, has kind of been a struggle to keep everything together. But otherwise, people are happy and excited to come in and have the experience of the salt cave. They're feeling better, and wellness is on the spotlight right now, so it's okay.
Definitely. So Barry, you knew about this for kind of a while that this was kind of going to take place then, huh?
Yes, I did. And this is a story, of course, on previous shows I said we're not the cheerleading squad, we're the friendly devil's advocate. And at that time, our consultant she worked with was Bree Torberg, who is now a professional at Falcon Bank, but she was a consultant of ours for a number of years, and a great person to work with. She started working with Christina. She said, Barry, we have somebody here who wants to do a salt cave. And I go, what's a salt cave?
I know. I'm sitting here thinking, how did this pass the Barry test?
It didn't. No, he was really skeptical about it from the very beginning. He's like, no. And I'm like, yeah.
Well, I had to think of the same thing, too, because I've never really heard of salt therapy before. But apparently this is a thing. And now there's 3 of them here in the state.
Yes. And you kind of took a hiatus, and then you came back, and Bree was gone, and I ended up with the salt cave. And part of the thing that we judge, you don't take a test, but I go, this client is passion, and passion leads to success in business. And the idea was maybe a little lofty, and you can go into that to begin with, and started learning about the salt caves, and the 100 questions, right, Christina? The 100 questions, the numbers. And we got it worked out, and I said, well, yeah. Yes, look at this. This is doable. And we had to figure it out because you weren't going to go away.
No.
And that's what we respect about our successful businesses that pass through the SBDC is when they have that type of commitment. Because I kept throwing up the challenges. She goes, no, here's what we'll do. And yes.
Which is good that she went through the SBDC through that process. And I find that, entrepreneurs are passionate, and that passion, it's not easy. As you see your journey, it's up and down, and the last couple of years have been really tough for a lot of businesses. But I always say that owning a business, it's like a child. It's like, it's a child to you. So you are deeply passionate about it. And it's something that if it's a dream that you have, you find a way to make it work.
So, Christina, how do you get a cave in downtown St. Cloud? Like, tell me how you were able to build this.
It was awful. It was so I had my partner, Travis Sweetjack. He was there helping me as well build. And I told him what I wanted. And I've spent 6 years drawing this cave up, researching and asking questions, being hung up on. And so basically, I remember there was a point in time where the truck came to deliver the 8 tons of salt.
8 tons,
and
wow.
they had to block the entire road in front of my business. And I was like, well, I guess that's going to bring a lot of attention. So that's okay. That's good. So basically, you just had to carry in all those boxes and start building tiles and just screwing stuff to the wall. I don't know. It was insane. It was insane.
So how have things gone? Like, how do people find you via word of mouth on social media? Like, what's kind of been the way that people have been finding your business here?
Well, Facebook's been great. Other than that, the website, people coming in, I've tried to educate as much as possible about what the salt does and how it helps the overall wellness of a person. I try to be involved in as much donating as possible, things like that.
You mentioned lungs are one of the ways that the salt caves kind of help, but what other benefits are there as far as a holistic approach?
So basically, it helps dislodge mucus that's also stuck deep in your airways, and that brings oxygen to the rest of your body. And our bodies need more oxygen than they're getting. And when the cells have ample amount of oxygen, then they do not become diseased or ill as fast or as quickly. And so the salt also helps to regenerate new cells. So with all of that, and this is research that's been going on for years. So This is nothing new. People have been using this since early 1900s in Poland, in Europe. So with that being said, it helps with all sorts of different kinds of ailments and things like that.
So when someone comes in to get this done, what's a session like? Is it a half-hour session, hour? How long do they need to be in these caves?
So it's about 40 minutes. Some people get really antsy, especially when you tell them that they're supposed to not talk and they're just supposed to be quiet and calm down a little bit. They don't like that, some of them. But it's really good for ourselves to just sit quietly and just, not try to think of anything and let the salt do what it's supposed to do and just relax.
So do you get... I got to ask this because now I'm curious. Do you get covered in this stuff, or are you just sitting there and the salt's around? Like, how does this work?
I think you need to go check it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
We should have met in the cave this morning.
You got 8 tons of salt. You probably could cover my body up with it, but I don't know. How does this work?
And Christina, if you don't fail to mention it, I'm going to mention it. I have these visions, she said, and I watched the store get built. She said, I'm going to have gifts in there. And then I was there right before we cut the ribbon to open it. Mm-hmm. And you walk in the store and you have giftware as well. And the minute you walk in with the lighting, you did you just already start feeling relaxed.
Okay.
And I went through I've been in the cave, and I have to tell you, other than being where I was last week, it's like a mini vacation, the way she has it, the decor in there. And you shouldn't be talking when you're in there. You should be in your Chase Lounge, just relaxing, and it's a wonderful, wonderful experience. And coming from a boomer guy, hey,
that's really not my thing, he said. Mm-hmm.
It is great.
Now he's one of your regulars.
Yeah, right.
And we'll tell him about gift certificates. That's a good thing too to give Valentine's Day right around the corner. You know?
Yep, we have
Step it up
certificates.
with the candy, the roses, and the Salt Cave certificate.
Could be pretty romantic by the ocean.
Yes.
Yes. I'd like to talk a little bit more just about your journey with the SBDC, because Barry, you touched on it a little bit, but how you said initially you had a big vision. What was it, $750,000 vision, and now just kind of how the process of where you ended up and how you got there, because I think that stops a lot of people in business. They like in commercial real estate. I'm with Agency North and Sartell, and I have a lot of people that come to me and they'll say, "I want to open a restaurant," or I want to open a salt cave, or and they have these big visions, but often that they don't have the funding or the numbers. Barry's the numbers guy. But then to drill it down and get it to a realistic point to start. You can always grow.
Right.
But
go like this, right sizing the business to match everything, the numbers, because, and I've talked on the show about this before too, the time, people, money factor.
Right.
Are you ready to put in the time to run $750,000 operation? I think the first answer was, I can do this, and now where you're scaled, where you're at, you're kind of telling me that into this for 12 weeks, you're still learning every day.
Yeah, I got to learn a lot. So Bella Vita basically started out as a $750,000 resort wellness spa retreat place. And when I first brought the business plan to Barry and his team, they kind of looked at me like, whoa. And I had an investor at that time, but the investor fell in love and ran away, which is fine. But so Barry worked with me throughout the years. And like every time I had to rewrite this business plan, and when the business plan got rewritten, I was like, all right, this is it. This is what it's going to be like. And I'd send it to Barry all proud and happy and excited. And Barry'd be like, well, Christina, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. And this is going to work. I was like, yeah, but this will, this will, this will, this will, and this will. And then over 6 years, that's kind of what happened. And then finally, I was just like, well, Barry, I'm just going to do it now. And that's kind of what happened. And I showed him the numbers, and he was definitely what devil's advocate on my numbers.
Well, we went for the break even.
She's being nice.
And you said, I can do the break even.
Yeah.
And you've exceeded that. And that's what I go. I love to be wrong.
You did not say that until the end. Yeah, Barry's like one of my favorite people that supports me in this idea, and he's been along through the entire journey. And as much as he's told me no, I've told him, but yes, it will work. We can do this.
We call that polite tension, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you didn't take no for an answer. You were going to get this done one way or another.
No, it's mine. I know it's mine. So I guess when you were talking about some of the other struggles that happened with Bella Vita, is that when I initially started Bella Vita, when I told Barry that we're going to do this and this is how we're going to do it, we're going to do it now, I did not have enough funding to do Bella Vita. And it just kind of came out as it just kind of just laid in front of me to where it all just kind of worked out. So I guess if you're wanting to open up a business, I wouldn't not do it because you don't think it can happen. I would just start somewhere, and then things just kind of line up, and it does happen.
Very cool.
That's very inspiring.
Yeah, and it's great to hear your journey, that you had all these different obstacles thrown your way, and I got this plan. I got this plan. Oh, this doesn't work. I'll shift to this one.
I remember there was a time where I was so desperate to find an investor, and I'd come up with all these crazy, these business plans, and I'd be like, how am I going to get my way with this person? How can I manipulate this situation? I'm not really a manipulative person, so I'm not really good at that game. But, there's so many times where I was completely devastated, and I would just sit there and bawl. I'm like, I'm never going to get this ever, ever, ever. And it just, you just kind of pull yourself back up and be like, well, I'll figure it out. We're going to have to figure it out somehow. Sometimes it took a week. Sometimes it took 5 months. I think that was the longest I'd taken a break from Bella Vita, but I never knew it wasn't going to be mine.
And 12 weeks in, are you still figuring things out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that is why
you fire yourself now. You're no longer the construction manager down at Bella Vita.
I told my friends I quit.
I refer so many clients to the SBDC. I mean, we work so closely together because we want businesses to succeed. And what you went through with that process, it really sets you up for success. But people that don't go through that often really can struggle. So I just think the SBDs is such a valuable resource for businesses. So if you're looking to start a business or invest, reach out to Barry and I, and we'll make it happen.
Well, it's not Barry. It's the wonderful team I have at the SBDC. And Lorraine filled in last week. She plays a key role in keeping everything running orderly, keeps me in line. We've got some great, talented consultants that are CPAs and marketing people that have worked in the world of business, so that it's not just I got the piece of paper. I have the experience to back it up, and that's what you need.
And it's not scary. You guys will help work and do whatever you guys got to do to try and get something on the ground, right?
We ask a lot of questions. Some of them are dumb questions. Katrina probably relate to that, but we ask some good ones too. And we're always asking questions because now's the time to discuss these, because as you know, once you put the key in the door, we did a ribbon cutting and there were people already lined up to get in. And hey, you want to be part of the ribbon cutting picture? That was fun.
Yeah, that was interesting.
We just got a couple more minutes here, but Christina, tell us a little bit about where you're located, how folks can get in touch if they want to learn more, just because this is a newer business here in our area.
Yeah. So I'm basically located downtown at 707 West St. Germain. It is a couple doors down from the Pickled Loon and right across the street from the old Copper Pony. You can find us at www.bellavitasaltcaves.com or on Facebook, where you'll find all of the updated services and specials that we're running. Yeah.
And I have to piggyback on a couple of other guests we've had on. Kinder Coffee Lab. We had him on a few weeks ago. They are opening on Valentine's Day on Cooper Avenue.
Okay.
New local coffee shop that you can go for coffee, drive-through, or order beans. And then Mackenzie's Boutique launched their online store, McKenzie'sBoutique.com. So there's two other local businesses that are starting and doing new things. So that's our message for this show is positive local business stories.
Wonderful.
And coming up next week, we're going to have a guest on from the Better Business Bureau that works for the Minnesota North Dakota Better Business Bureau, Erica Thompson, who has ties to St. Cloud. And she'll be talking how the Better Business Bureau can help small businesses and the services they provide to business owners as well as consumers.
Very good. Well, there we go. A little tease for next week here.
Yes.
So thank you all for joining me today. Appreciate it. Love learning about more businesses here in our area. Christina, congratulations on your business and best of luck. And Wendy and Barry, thanks for joining me here today as well.
Yep, thank you.
Maybe we'll see you in this cave soon.
I got to go check this out. I really do, because I am very curious on this thing. So
It's pretty sweet.
I got to check it out. So we'll be back here in just a couple of moments on AM 1240, 95.3 FM, WJON.